Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the first real production knives that I ever got, and that is the Crkt M16-12ZER. And the ZER, I'm pretty sure, is just this is like the emergency quotes, the emergency style. A lot of the new ones have a little kind of a rope / seatbelt cutter as the flipper tab, which I think is kind of unique. It looks really weird, so I don't know how it works in practice, or how well it acts as a flipper tab. But this is like I said, M16. This is the smaller version. There's the M21 also, which I'll be uploading another video for a review on, and we'll break out in a size comparison in just a bit. But this guy, back when I was in Boy Scouts, this was probably the first real production knife I had. And I remember every time I'd go to camp, I would just hang out, flip it, and just do this all day because it's pretty nice flipping action. This guy runs on Teflon washers. It has a liner lock, but the thing about these knives, these Kit Carson design knives, is that it has a dual locking mechanism. So if you can see right here when I'm moving with my thumb, as I move this, it moves that tiny little post or peg, whatever you want to call it, that's blocking the liner lock from closing. So if I sit here and try and close the knife, try and move the liner lock out of the way without moving the secondary lock, it won't budge. But so first you have to move this, and then you can push it over. And I remember whenever anyone would want to see this knife or handle it, I would just sit there and watch them try and close it because I couldn't figure it out, because it's a very unique locking mechanism that I've never seen on any other knife. But anyways, this guy, Tanto with serrations. The serrations came in handy because, in Boy Scouts you saw on a lot of wood and stuff like that. Tanto, I just thought it looked cool. The blade steel on this guy is AUS 4, which is kind of bottom of the barrel stuff. It's held up okay. You can see there's not a whole lot of rust spots on the blade or anything like that, but there are on the liners. So you can see them through the little, the GFN glass filled nylon. This is what Benchmade uses for a lot of their stuff as well. Pocket clip is one-way tip down carry, which is kind of annoying, but back then I really didn't care because this was the only knife I had ever really handled, so it didn't bother me. The thumb studs, I think they're honestly for the stop pin. They serve as a stop pin rather than an actual opening mechanism. Well, because while they are textured, they're really stiff and don't work very well. But pocket clip, nice and slim. This guy fits in the pocket really well. Has a nice kind of hollow grind going on with the Tanto edge that we talked about. For design, I think it's simple. The GFN with the speed holes in it makes for just kind of a nice light grip. It fits well in the hand, even with an overall length of only 7.3 inches. It's a little on the small side for me, but back then my hands were smaller. But even now, it's not terrible. It's a solid knife. A lot of jimping on the spine of the blade. It even wraps all the way around to the point where you'd think you could use this as a front flipper almost, but you can't. I think it adds a little bit of design flair. We can see that the lock bar has some jimping. Always nice. The flipper tab has jimping. Flipper tab is a nice shape. The whole kind of keeps with the design of the knife itself. And it's a good flipper. The jimping really helps. Its shape conducive to making it able to do either light switch or a push button opening, even if I do it wrong. So not any special materials, you know, crappy steel, cheap scales, but that's what this knife is. This knife is only retails like $60, $70, so you get what you pay for. That it's pretty apparent in the knife industry, and this is no exception. Blade length, 3 inches even, nice and small. I know a lot of people like smaller blades, or if it's also a legal thing in your state that you can only carry under, you know, X inches. Handle length 4.25, so nice solid grip for your hands. So we can do a little size comparison now. Like I mentioned, this is the little brother to the M21, which he'll be getting his own video. As you can see, it's a good deal bigger, probably close to 2 inches larger than the M16. I personally like the M21 more, but we'll get into that in my video. Can do the Benchmade 940, similar size. 940 is a little bit bigger, probably about ½ an inch. We could do Microtech Ultratech and the 940 are kind of similar in size. So again, about ½ an inch bigger overall than the M16. And then lastly, we can do the PM2 Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Similar size again. This one's probably about 1 inch bigger though. So it's a very average size for a knife. Definitely good for, you know, back then when I was really just getting into knives for the first time and was more so using them a lot harder than I do now these days. So, let's see if I missed anything. Oh, on the weight, 3.8 ounces. So light, not too heavy. Not gonna really notice in your pocket. The tip down carry is a little annoying, but I don't carry this guy anymore, so it doesn't bother me. And the handle thickness is over ½ an inch, which makes for that nice grip fitting well into my hand. What it lacks in like vertical length filling up my hand, it make up for it in the thickness. So yep. So this has been the Crkt M16.